I'm going to do the tone and explain to you exactly why most of this debate is symmetrical. This is a torture, really. I'm sorry for you to have to judge this, but I'm trying to do my best to explain to you exactly what we gave you in this debate is the actual change in this world. I'm going to explain why the fact that Schulman says one line saying choice is not an analysis and why you actually need to add words to that in order to win this debate, and why Hadar did exactly that. I'm going to have, you know what? One clash that's called symmetrical, and the other clash is going to explain exactly what is actually changing this world. But before that, let's just tackle what's coming from closing opposition, just to make sure that we're clear that they're out of this debate, right? Because they say, look, now every poor family can earn money by just raising baby and sell it. Sounds to me like it tackles with the problem Sella has. Now we have more supply, so they just answer their own OO. But furthermore, we say that the fact that if you're going to choose to have a baby, for 9 months you're going to be pregnant, you're probably going to make sure you have someone to sell to the baby at the end of the process. Because goddamn, giving birth to a baby is going to destroy your fucking vagina, and nobody wants that without making sure that they're going to earn money at the end of that. No analysis why those people are so stupid to make the decision without making sure. We just don't think that saying because they poor they're going to make bad decision is any analysis, and it's offensive to everyone. No. Also notice that we say that we're okay even if the deal breaker is going to say that some people are going to do it, because we analyze to you why we think they're going to end up in good families. No rebuttal at all to what Hadar already explained to you, that even if it's going to tickle the edge and they're going to do it even if they didn't want to do it at the end, we're okay with that, because they're going to go to families that has no doubt that they wanted those baby and are going to make sure that the baby knows that for the rest of his life. And also notice that most of these things are symmetrical. I'm going to explain that later. And then they say, oh look, those people are going to make sure, they're going to leave you those decisions for every day for their life. OO says exactly that, but give more analysis why they're going to be not rational. We don't see the extension in that. But you know what? Let's answer anyway, because it answers both of the team. Because I'm really not sure why is it different from the choice of having a baby. If the government is not going to tell me that I'm going to safety net, if I'm going to regret the baby, I don't know why is it different. We allow people to make the choice that they want to have babies, and we think that most people are going to say, God damn, I screwed myself for the rest of my life. Schulman already stated that. We think it's the same. We say that if they have their decision and they want to do that, they're going to be able to live with that. And we say that there are regulations and stuff, as we already stated in the PY, to make sure it's not a momental decision. We can make sure that they have a psychologist with them. It's not a new mechanism. It's just saying we're not going to be stupid while doing that. And I think it's completely fine saying that. Also, Schulman said regulation. I think it's a part of that, just an extension. Okay, now let's go into explaining what's exactly symmetrical in this debate, because I think it's like main problem in this debate. OG doesn't explain why their case is symmetrical, although OO attacks them that it is. Then OO says, look, we think adoption is bad, we just think that adding the money factor is just going to make it worse. But the problem is that OO misses that the money factor is symmetrical as well. That's exactly what Hadar gives you in this debate. Hadar explains to you exactly how the adoption process looks like today. You don't have a choice. You don't choose the cute black baby as Sela described. You don't go to those places and say, I want that baby. You're showing pictures after months of showing proof that you're a good father, a good mother. After going all through the biopsy of actually adopting a child. After traveling to those countries. Meaning it's a lot of money. So we're saying that money is a factor already in the status quo when you talk about adoption. B, we're saying that the adoption, the choice factor is only happening on our side. I'm going to explain about that later. B, also notice that it answers all of the cases coming from Sela saying, oh, now I'm not going to adopt that baby because it's for free, because it's not for free now. You already pay a lot of money to go through that process, and it's going to stay the same. Then OG continues with that and saying, look, the market is going to do well because the money is going to make you think twice before you do the process. Again, money is a factor in the status quo. We think that's not the things that are going to change in this debate. That's where we think most of those analyses are just not in that. I'm going to take later. Now, let's understand what's not symmetrical in this debate, because I think it's kind of crucial in order for us to explain why we do have an extension in that. Because notice a couple of stuff. Hadar, as I already mentioned, gives you exactly the analysis of how adoption looks like today, and how is it going to look different when you're going to choose to pay for a baby. Schulman indeed says you're going to be able to choose, but Hadar explains to you the psychological decision behind that when you're actually making the decision. Because many of those people feel that they're going to just being shown some pictures. They're not going to be option to say, I want a different one. I don't feel like I'm going to be connected to that. Maybe I want a different, maybe I don't want somebody that's 5 years old, I want somebody that's 5 months. We're saying that those factors, the fact that those people who have to say no to the adoption agency makes most of those people, because we think that they are moral and saying no to a baby going to make them feel bad, think twice before they enter the adoption system and maybe don't want to do that and choose other options. We still have those babies, and we think that those things, because of people being scared of that, they're not going in the system, and we have a lot of babies that we still need. We have the supply, we just don't have people to actually deal with it. We think that when we add the money factor, exactly because of everything that Amichay said, because people are going to think that they chose it, that is a good thing, because people are going to say, I'm able to say no, and I'm not a mean person, because it's something that we accept as a legal and moral process in the world. Now we're going to have more baby adopted because of that. Sela.
Both governments' logic is that by pricing, we convince so many parents to give up for adoption that adopters have such a luxury choice of orphan babies that some new ones end up adopting. In the name of economics, recognize that more children are left on the shelf.
We think that more children are left when less people decide to adopt babies. Even if there are going to be black babies that are not adopted, it's symmetrical and happens in the status quo. We think that even if more people choose to do that, at least more people are most kids are being adopted, even if they're white. Just saying they're black doesn't mean it's a harm if empirical will have more children being adopted. They notice that OO says a couple of stuff. They say, look, but we don't need to allow that because after giving birth, you have hormones and you have like pressures on the family. After giving birth, you can make any other decision. We just don't see it as an explanation why you shouldn't make those choices, and we think that you can have those psychological things. Notice that we explain to you exactly why those families are going to treat well their kids. If they have so much money, as Sella and Amichay wants to say, they have money to use as psychologists in order to ask, how should I tell the child that he was adopted or that he was bad? We think that those specific parents, because they're going to feel like they chose it, because they're going to feel that they have the responsibility because they chose the specific kid to do it, they're going to do everything better than adoption. Because when you choose it, you feel like you are active in that process, and you need to do those specific things and make sure that child is okay. For more of those reasons, please support the motion.